The problem I have in this presentation is that I don't know if I interpret you correctly, but you seem to see creativity as a problematic concept, but you yourself use it as an economic concept throughout the whole presentation. And I would say it's not, from the start, it's not an economic concept at all. It's not, I mean, it's, as you said rightly, I mean, it's hijacked for economic purposes. And that's the problem. That's where it becomes a bit incomprehensible. But I would also, just to exemplify what I'm talking about Detroit, for example, we have a city that in the 70s or in the 60s, 70s was built for a huge automobile industry that was run down in the 70s, and we have a city for 1.5 million people, and there's 500,000 people inhabitants. And you have a city with a non-working infrastructure, a complete fucked up economy and so forth, and in the midst of this city you start Motown and you start Detroit techno, because it's a place where you can't do fuck all. And that's where I think creativity comes in the right term. So it's not an economic force at all. It's a force, there's nothing that to do with
but it is a modern concept.
Whatever.
Actually,
my point is just that's a proper meaning of creativity in my book.
If you want to
the tweaked version is this economical baha.
If you want to be kind of serious about it, of course, creativity is originally a theological concept, and has to do with our belief in gods, and has to do with our faith in greater things. The words for creativity and creation were originally, there are actually people, brilliant historians have worked quite a lot on where our notion that the novel could be introduced into the world come from. And it's clearly a theological notion, clearly a notion of religious belief and faith. So you could, of course, track it back to kind of faith. Our necessity of us to believe in a greater thing, be it Detroit techno or the almighty Allah. But I never claim that I would have kind of that I could state what creativity is, because I think anyone stating that they can say what creativity really is out on really, really deep waters. I've gone through tons and tons of definitions, and they all suffer from different kind of ailments. Every time I try to fix creativity to this is what creativity really is, and these are perverted forms, I think that we're doing the concept a great disservice, because then we are kind of claiming that we can somehow catch lightning in a bottle. So I'm not interested in saying that what creativity is. I'm interested in why are we so quick to kind of assume that this is the correct position, this is the wrong one. That's why I bring in the financialists. But why do we dislike them? And I kind of understand that we dislike them because they're horrible people. And that's an ethical engagement we have in them. I don't think creativity by necessity has an ethical component. Our engagement with creativity can have an ethical component, but I think creativity in and of itself needn't necessarily be a question of creativity. Sorry, you tried to come in for a long time, so you might just have twitched. Exactly, you just twitched. Like that, so I could. You want to come in and then you.
I would like to know, your sentence was long projected on the screen. A need for leadership. What do you mean with this sentence?
I mean,
new Führer?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't believe in new Führers. And I didn't mean. I meant that I think creativity needs to take a leadership role, in a sense. Leadership is. I'm getting interested in this. Leadership is one of those things that annoy people. It's one of those concepts that annoy people. I mean, in the same sense, I've done my entire career writing about stuff that I'm not allowed to write about. That's why actually I'm the only management person who's published on both cannibals and zombies. And I can actually send you both, once an article and once a book chapter. And I did that not because I have a deep knowledge of zombies or cannibals, but because I wanted to kind of see how can we kind of pervert the discourses we have by introducing alien elements into them. A kind of xeno management studies, what happens when you bring in the radically other. In the same way, I'm actually interested today in the concept of leadership, because we are so averse in a sense, because we start thinking about the Führer. Actually, in leadership studies, there is the Hitler problem is one of the kind of key. There's tons written on the Hitler problem, in the sense that they have difficulties kind of accepting that, well, was Hitler a big, good leader, great leader, or wasn't he? And because that's so difficult to kind of fit in, we kind of somehow want to shield us from the Hitler problem, which is of course an interesting way of asking the question: do you think we want a new Führer? When of course the most creative thing I could have said would be yes, because then I would actually truly push the question: why not a totalitarian regime to kind of push through creativity right now? Why not kind of the dictatorship of the creativariat? That's not the dictatorship of the creativariat. And that kind of question, I would just want to push to say, okay, what is the creative sector should do now? What is the so-called creatives should be doing now? And I believe, and this is, I believe we all should take more responsibility over these issues. It is so easy, in a sense, to kind of say, no, it's somebody else's fault. But because I believe that the creative economy and the people engaging in the creative economy, and now, of course, when I say creative economy, I don't necessarily mean the market economy, but the grander economy. Economy is defined within economic anthropology as the system of exchanges. Need to take a leadership role in at least stating what kind of world is it that we want to be in. Not just react to the world or comment on the world, but actually say, can creative people lead the world? Can creativity have a leadership position? Not in the trivialized management version of leadership, but in stating what can be done, what kind of steps can be taken. I don't have a answer for you. I don't know what the role of leadership will be in creative economy, or whether that will happen. But I think it's a fun.
Do you want to stay for dinner? We can continue the discussion.
My kids would not want me to. I have, unfortunately, I'm a single parent. Actually, I'm not single, but I'm a parent who is apparently not with his partner. So my kids are at home alone. So I do need to.
I just want to take this time to thank you for your presentation. And you are already a shareholder in the Nomadic Academy.
I thought I'd bring my chair and sit on it.
Great. But as we, the Nomadic University is always one step ahead, we're being really uncreative, and I'm giving you a hat. And thank you for this thing, and it's labeled with your own university.
Did you ask about YouTube? Because I have YouTube.
No, I haven't done that yet, actually.
Because our first presentation is on YouTube, but it's not public yet, so we have to ask you something.
Oh, sure. That's why I don't ask my permission to do anything like that. So of course you have permission.
I did it in Nurope contest. We have always...
Put it out. I've always been a firm believer in the creative principle of it's easier to ask forgiveness than permission.
Dinner is served in this same room in 10 minutes. We'll take a small break so they can put the food out here and that's it.